PragerU disappoints me on a fundamental level. Now, that's probably a very, very controversial thing to say. It's the most controversial thing that I've ever said. Definitely. Okay, so, all jokes aside, so I told myself that I wasn't gonna do any of these videos or do any more of these recordings until I finally edited the previous episodes, and I kind of had to break that promise because I'm very disappointed. I'm not disappointed in myself, for once. I'm disappointed in PragerU, like I said. So, I got really bored, and during work, oh gosh, that's a spill on the road. I may or may not have I may or may not have started watching YouTube videos during work, which not exactly the best thing, but just oh my gosh, there we go. Just hear me out for a second. I know slacking off isn't exactly the best thing to do. It's something more of what Jim would do from the office, but that's besides the point. I decided to go on YouTube, and I saw a YouTube video of someone reacting to PragerU, how creative, and the video explicitly said, hey, if you look up on YouTube, like, if you look up PragerU, you're going to find out there's lists and lists of just videos on people, not berating them, but just disproving their claims, just debunking everything they say, and a lot of it does have a lot of weight, I will say that. A lot of the claims that they want to make really don't hold up, and the evidence that they present is on the level of oh my gosh, that thing is loud. It's on the level of a like a middle school, high schooler, not college, middle school, high schoolers like essay. You know, like when you read your English essays. And the reason I say that is because from a former high schooler who procrastinated on all of his projects, I can tell that everything that they're mentioning is exactly what I'm doing. So you know the old trope of the how do I say this? The screw up that ends up being so good at, like, how do I say this? They end up being so good at their craft because they're really unmotivated, and that's why they fail all the time. That's me. I'm the person who's unmotivated to ever do anything, but when I see bad evidence, I know bad evidence. And PragerU, man, you really were really winding me up. You were doing what I did when I was a kid who didn't even know what an anime was. I don't know. I'm just speaking out of my mind. So, the reason I'm talking about this is because I started watching PragerU. After watching the PragerU debunking video, I decided to see for myself, hey, like, I'm pretty good with reasoning. Can I reason myself through a PragerU video and prove that all what they're saying is not true and very easily debunkable? And yes, I proved it was true. You can still go on their YouTube channel and look up the video. I'm pretty sure they still have it up, but you just look up the video on mail-in ballots and why they're supposed to ruin our elections. Ugh! First of all, the fact that they always have like some middle-aged boomer who doesn't know what they're talking about. Like, their politics are from the freaking World War II era, and they're bringing up Nazis and they're bringing up Nazis and communists as if they're like always the other, who's always evil. First it was the far right, and now it's the far left. And, like, sure, you can say that Nazis were evil, but at the same time, the right wing, the whole reason that conservatives are being berated by, I wouldn't say berated, but like the reason they're always clowned on social media is because a lot of them are Nazi sympathizers, okay? That's just how it is. And if I get demonetized for saying that, I don't really mind. As long as the message gets out, I don't really care. I just don't like the way that they present evidence. It's just really poor. And I was going to comment on the video itself that, hey guys, you do realize that you just disproved your own theory, because lo and behold, at the end of the video, they said that voting in person is going to be much better than voting in ballot. And They said that the reason voting in ballots is terrible is because they cheat all the time, because all the mail-in ballots are going to be swaying towards Democrats because they hack into the ballots and force them to be Democrat. They change it from red to blue. But guys, you can't just tell everybody to not go to mail-in ballots and then expect there to be Republican mail-in ballots. That's just counterintuitive. I just don't understand where you're coming from with all this. As a person who voted for who would have voted for Donald Trump in 2016, I didn't vote back then, but I did in 2020, and I'm not telling you who. Actually, no. Who cares? We already know what the outcome is, but I'm still not telling you. But as a person who probably would have voted for Trump in 2016, you guys are... I'm just going to tell you this. I can't stand with you guys on this one. Like, I get the reason why you wanted to... I get why Trump had such big support. And sure, he was another racist president who happened to be super schmancy with social media and is just really offensive all the time. But, like, what's new? That's just old news. That's already happened before. I don't care if we get another Bush, I'm sorry, Bush is the only president that I've had in my lifetime that I know that is similar to Trump. I'm sorry, my most formative years, I've had either Trump or Obama as president. Who else am I supposed to say? Freaking Ronald Reagan? Bill Clinton? I don't know. That's a really bad ramble. But like I said, they just disproved the very point that they're trying to make. How about if you want to be scientific about it, and I really shouldn't be going into scientism. I'm not saying I believe in scientism, but it's really close to what I'm trying to say. If you really want to prove what all the leftists if you're trying to prove what all the leftists are saying is wrong, then maybe you should take a different approach and tell all the Republicans to go into the mail-in ballots. Because here's the thing, the more Republicans you tell to go to mail-in ballots, the more likely that they're going to go to mail-in ballots. And guess what? After that, if it ends up being blue, then you would actually have a reason to dispute some of these claims. Like, seriously, the whole reason everyone on the internet is clowning on DJT and Giuliani is because they're trying to throw legal cases that have no substantial evidence. It's mostly hearsay, and mostly it's not even circumstantial evidence, because if you watch if you watch the PragerU video already, or if you watched it before and came back, if you want to do that right now, do whatever you want. But I'm sorry, I kind of lost my track of mind. I'm just so frustrated with PragerU's reasoning and logic that oh my gosh, it's just so infuriating to see someone not know how to make a coherent argument. They talked about how a family's pet ended up on the ballot sheet by accident, but they don't show the source. Or if they did, they didn't put it in a how do I say it? In a accessible location. Like even Vsauce, when they make their videos, and I will say it, Vsauce isn't exactly the place where I go to seek for not entertainment. They're very entertaining. Vsauce isn't exactly the place where I go for education. Like, the whole reason edutainment is so cringy is because they don't actually teach you anything. Like, sure, Mark Rober teaches you how the scientific method works, but like that's kind of about it. But I love Mark Rober. I don't want to slash him. I don't even want to group him with the other people that I'm mentioning. But I'm sorry. I'm just not in a good mood, and having watched those PragerU videos just really bummed me out. Because, look, I have a bunch of people. I have people. I own people. No. I know a bunch of people, and I have a bunch of friends that all believe in, how do I say this? They all have democratic beliefs, And they're like, obviously, because the young population is always going to be left-leaning, that is kind of the case. And I really disagree with a lot of the things they say. Like, just inherently, a lot of the reasonings that they make on certain conflicts and topics don't make sense. However, in this one case, you really can't say that you give credit. You really can't say that the Democrats, you can't say that the Democrats didn't really have all the. You can't say that the Democrats didn't have a point in this one. They had all the cards, and you guys played exactly into their hands. Like, sure, I didn't look. Before the whole election happened, I wanted to make a video on Biden and how a bit of a, how do I say this? He really splits opinions. I mean, like every candidate always does. I don't like Biden, okay? I'm just gonna say that. Like, as a person, sure, but all of his beliefs are they're really iffy. I don't like him. However, settle for Biden. That's all I'm saying. Like, sure, he's 10 seconds of me not knowing what to say, so I pretend to be talking or stammering. No, but I just wish that people would use their brains more. Like, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna be the villain and say it because I'm saying what nobody else wants to say. People don't use their brains. That's why politics is so easy to certain people, because they know what to do to sway heads. They know what to do to change opinions. They know what to say. They know what to do. The problem is that, people, the average citizen just doesn't decide to think at all. So they don't really have an opinion. They just have their family's opinion, their friends' opinions that they got from 6 different people before. So my point is, if you don't believe in something, or if you do believe in something, think about why. Think about how. Just think about the whats and the what ifs. And if you find out that certain things are wrong, then you don't have to be ashamed about it. Sure, be ashamed about being wrong. Boo hoo hoo. But at the same time, realize that there is a truth out there. And that the truth is what matters most. If you're being fed lies, then stop feeding yourself a life of fantasy. I don't know how I went from talking about PragerU to... You know what? I have an idea of a certain video essay type thing, TED Talk kind of thing, kind of spoilers, that I want to do. And hopefully, if I can get this right, I will get it right, and it will look actually kind of decent. So, you know what? I should probably head out. Peace.